how are you today?
Hey, how are you? Um, and
Yes,
fine, thank you.
thank
And
you
you?
for
Yeah.
yes, thank you for having me. So, what would you like to discuss today?
Today I'd like to discuss Kundin National Park. It is the number one national park in Taiwan. Uh, it is designated as the national park in 1984. And, it is located in the south part of the Taiwan, the very south tip. Uh, it belongs to the Pingtung County, and it it take maybe 2 hours from Kaohsiung to the Kundin by car. Um, from Kaohsiung, we can drive our own car, or they had a bus. A non-regular bus, maybe it is only for the patient, or the tourists only, and people tourists can hire the sightseeing bus to. Before they built a small um, airport there, but no people like to take the airplane, so it is closed. And people drive the car to take around 1.5 hours or 2 hours. It depends on the driving speed. And when you drive to Kundin, they belong to the Hengchun district of the Pingtung County. And the kanji communicator Hengchun, the meaning of the forever spring. Belahan is forever, and Chun is spring. So it is quite very well the temperature there. So the whole, I mean, the whole year round is the spring, and because even in the winter, it is still temperature is still not cold, so it's cold and and in the Hengchun they had in the Hengchun. Town, they have built the castle before. They still had the whole gate of the castle still left preserve. And the the national park, the area is there are 333 square kilometer in the area. It can include the park, national park, and the around area. All the area was surrounded by the ocean, and so the Engen area is the early south tip. So in the right side is Taiwan Strait, and so people can see the Taiwan Strait and the Basi Channel. And from the Basi Channel, we are connected to Taiwan and Philippines. Because Taiwan and Philippines, they had the strait called the Basi Channel, and the west and the right and the left side they are called the Pacific Ocean. So in the inside the Kundin National Park, they had a sea watching tower, and people go into the top of the tower. They can see both ocean, Taiwan Strait and Pacific Channel and the Pacific Ocean. And and the national park is the Taiwan's only one tropical rain forest. So the tree is little different from other area because it's the cold tropical climate. So the horse grow very sick, and people can there are many trails on the inside the national park. People can enjoy. If people like to go through every trail, maybe it take people 3 hours to make a tour. And inside the tour, they had inside the Canadian Mexico, they have many volunteer like a tour guide, but they are volunteer. Government treat some retire people to be a volunteer tour guide inside. People when tourists they come, they are willing to offer and to introduce about the area. But before we enter the national park, after we pass we can we can drive through into the town of the Hencheng, but people usually select to pass by the outside road and directly to near they had a nuclear power plant there, and near the power plant they had the road and into a Taiwan's biggest natural lake because we had the salmon lake in the middle of Taiwan. They are very attractive place. People tourists from other countries like to visit visit that salmon lake. Nice people can take maybe the bus drive is from Taipei to salmon lake. It may take 2 hours. And because it is Jamaica is bigger, but it is not the natural lake. It is called the artificial lake because the government like to develop the water electricity. They call the hydraulic power. They dip much deeper and much wider or bigger or not lake. But they call in the near the national Canteen Park, they had a long run lake. That is the biggest natural lake in Taiwan. Around the lake, there are also many tropical forests. Although it is much smaller than the Chengchi National Park itself, and people into the long run lake, they had a building and they exhibited some sample of the bird, and the people can watching the bird in the lake. They build many telescopes there, and people can see through the telescope without charge. And usually, especially in the autumn or winter, most of the bird is the migratory bird, so they usually arrive in 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 the lake. It depends on the kind of the bird, so it come different time. Some birds just pass the lake. They only fly from the north and stay on the lake and to eating enough food, and they keep continue to fly to maybe to Philippines, and others are stay at the lake for the winter, and after the winter, the next year they will fly back to the north. So we can if people like to watch the bird, they can watch in this lake. And after seeing this lake, they can go to another place called Mount Beetle. And Mount Beetle, Mount is mean cat, cat B is mean nose, makes cat big, cat 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 nose hat translation, something like that. And they had a special rock, and so people can see the rock before we can go to lower to see the lake clearly. But now it is prohibited. People only can see on the top of the rock, and it's very beautiful. And people after seeing the Mount Beetle, they can go to a place called Hobifu. Hobifu means lake, but in fact it is not lake. It is only a harbor. In the harbor, they had fishing market there and many seafood restaurants. And people when there can take a half submarine. I able take one time. They tell me maybe $400. So I only take one time. When I take another friend to there, I ask a friend to take themselves. I don't like to take myself one more time because it take not money. $40 is not a small amount. And people so-called the half submarine because in the bottom of the ship or boat, they had a transparent glass. People sitting on inside the boat, they can see the coral reef, and the tropical fish, very beautiful there. And under the sea, they pretty similar to land. So they had geoformation, not pretty similar to mountain. That is a mountain, like a mountain range in under the water. You can see it very clearly, even without scuba diving. And after the visit the whole bay, we can go to inside around the whole beef, they had another place they call Guanshan, and Guanshan here is also a special formation. People can see the rock, and the rock we can see this geoformation as the national park, the Shan Rock, although it is much smaller, and people can go to see. They enjoy seeing the sunset. It is very suitable place to see the sunset. That's called Guanshan. The place is Guanshan sunset. People after which that they can drive back to the main road and to keep continue to the south. Then they they can turn left to the Kennedy National Park, and I have been mentioned about the Indian Mark. They have many trails and some formation like the very strange, like the cave. So people can go inside the cave, and we can see the stick, how do you call that? Like the statistical mind and statistical tie, or I cannot speak it well. And and people can see the rock, and it is evidence that the Taiwan or this national park before is under the ocean, because the rock usually is home by the coral reef. So
Mhm.
on the wall of the rock, we can see the seashell. So that is the evidence that before this is under the ocean, and it is say many billion a million of billions ago. Taiwan is under the water, and later because Taiwan is between the Europe Sea and the Filipino plate, they are pushing together and to raise the Taiwan, something like that. So that you can see the seashell, that is a seashell vessel on the of the rock. And people can see many tropical trees in the Kensington Park. And after they left the park, actually that's near the national park. They had another park called the Serdin Park, and the Serdin Park is free to enter, while the Kennedy National Park people must buy the ticket. And in the Serdin Park, maybe they had no volunteer tour guide there, and people can enjoy themselves. And there the tree also the tropical rainforest forest, and and people can see the deer there. And I read the information. They say the wild Sika deer. In fact, it is not the wild. The government let such kind of deer out to live by themselves. In originally they are raised by the people, and in where when I inside it, I never saw the deer because maybe the deer is so shy. They have to they tend to avoid people, so they are hiding. And after we get out the 13 Kongen, we can go down to the main road and keep continue south, and they can reach called the Erland B Park, and it is the park is much lower than not like the 13 and the national park. They are much higher. And in the Erland B Park, there are many holes too. And in the Erland B Park, they had a lighthouse. And the lighthouse, maybe I'm not sure, although, but maybe it was built in the Japanese colonial period. And because I've been to Japan, and the Japan's the lighthouse pretty similar to Taiwan, so maybe Taiwan's built also built in the Japanese occupied period. Mm, and people because Erlang B Kongen is the very south tip. So after people visit the Erlang B, they can come back to the main road and to turn left to the another side of the Kundin National Park. Kundin National Park. There is near the Pacific side and they had the place called Manchu. The Manchu, I often been there because in the double 10th day, that is the October 10th, that is our national holiday, that is the Taiwan's Independence Day, and one kind of bird that's called the hawk, 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 and that kind of bird also it is said to stay in the Manchu mountain area only for one night, and the next day they keep continuing fly to Philippines. The same, so they come to Philippines, and they are only stay in the Manchu area, and even in the Serding Park, so people can watch such kind of bird in the Manchu and also in the Serding Park. And the Manchu, I usually go to the Manchu, and before I only see with my neck eye, but later I buy a telescope, and we can see much clearer with telescope. Usually people like to see much go there at the evening, maybe from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. It depends. It depends. Some people are waiting there to watch it, and and sometimes I make some one also know such story, so they are prepare their own telescope and waiting to see the bird, and that we call that bird as our national uh, national celebrating bird because it come to Taiwan on the people celebrating our national birthday. Uh, and before we come to Taiwan, we pass a very big flat plane, and there could nothing there, only the glass, and they are wind very strong, and people like to go to the cliff of the land, and very dangerous, and because go to the cliff to see much clearer about the ocean and the formation of the rock. And after that, before they go to the Manchu, they pass like a desert. Although it is very small, but it's similar to desert. Only the sand, without anything. And the sand usually, if people like to see it, better to see the desert in the winter, because the wind blow from the ocean to the mountain, so they blow the sand from the beach to the mountain, so it's from a desert. If in the summer, maybe the wind is from the other side, from the mountain to the to the ocean, so the sand will bring back to the beach. And so, and people go to there can enjoy eating the seafood, because they are surrounded by three part of the land, by the surrounded by the ocean. So there are many fish there, so people can enjoy the seafood there. I think that's all about it. And what's your comment?
Well, in my country, we have many national parks. I think
Hmm.
we have 35
Oh,
national
oh, 35.
parks, yes, in the Philippines.
Oh, now
And
we had 16, and 2 years ago we established the number 16 national park in Penghu. Yeah.
yes, and our national parks are places of natural or historical value
Mm-hmm,
designated for protection
mm-hmm,
and sustainable utilization
mm-hmm,
by our Department of Environment and Natural Resources. So there's a law. There is a law that considers the national parks as protected areas. The law is the National Integrated Protection Areas System Act. Mm, yes, but I live in Davao
mm-hmm.
City.
About city.
There is no national park in my city.
Mm-hmm,
Usually, the national parks are in the northern part of the Philippines.
uh-huh.
Mm, yes, and some are in Manila, of course.
Manila.
Mm,
Mm-hmm,
yes, and so for your presentation, um, instead of saying, oh, I don't know why I cannot send any message. Um, okay, I'll just send it later, perhaps after the lesson, because
okay.
I'm trying to send you a message, but it will not send.
Mm-hmm.
So um, instead of saying in the bottom, I think you said in the bottom of the sea.
Oh, ocean.
It should be of the ocean. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it should be at the bottom of the
The
ocean.
bottom.